ooh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. I have no idea why I do this, but it is a form of exercise. I want to learn how to use my diaphragm using long-winded thing to stress out my diaphragm. And am I doing the Bleach song? And yes. Hello there. Welcome everyone. My name is Kiray, and I'm your host and your voice with a voice. Still learning how to use my diaphragm to talk a little bit more, but because of doing this, I would sound a little bit more out of breath than most of the time that I usually speak, because most of the time I am doing like a very control diaphragm. But now I need to learn how to control the air I expel. So, they will sound a little bit different. And I also need to learn some breathing technique too, in order to not to let you guys hear that. That's a reasons that I breathe really hard, because again my nose have allergy, so I suck in the air like quite hard, so I end up like something like this will happen. So in order to prevent this to happen, I need like proper breathing technique to actually not let you guys hear me doing the those kind of voice. I suck in too much air. I was puke from the cough. Yep, never did diaphragm training. When your fault. Kind of. I guess. Alright. Welcome everyone. My name is Kiray, and I'm your host and your with a voice here to entertain you and may or may not went off tangents and then do something else. Of course, I'm going to do a little bit of, as always, some voice acting training before I actually start the stream. And I got a very good idea on doing this kind of things. Hold on a bit. Let me pull it out. Where are you? Oh, I can't find it. Did I close it? Did I accidentally remove it? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Ah, found you. So, as I need to practice reading, I need something to read, of course. And I'm trying to find some material to read, and the material need to be like official, like being screened through by an expert, and they have like ample amount of readings, and when I read it, it's interesting to listen. So I need something like that to help a little bit. I was thinking like what kind of material I can read, and I was chatting with Take, and Take be like, yeah, like you should. The only thing but I can't really recommend to you anything. The only thing I read is Ruin Nations, and then I'd be like, wait a minute, that's actually a great idea. Like lots of people actually like League of Legends, so I'm going to do a League of Legends sort of like law reading. I need to find where the law reading is, so I need to do a little bit. So let me get on to that particular scene for me to do a little bit reading stuff. So again, hello everyone, my name is Kiray and I'm your host and your video voice, and I might need to adjust my my television's angle. I angled them a little bit, you can say tad bit too extreme, so it might be a little bit difficult for people to see. And yep, let's move it up to here. All right, good. Okay, again, I'm going to do a little bit talk about stuff and also adjust my size. I'm a little bit too big. All right, let's have a little bit read on. I wonder what type of like material you guys want to read first. You know what? Since I am the void video voice, let's read something about the void. Okay? Ooh, the writing is curious. And then there's quite lots of things to read. All right. Let's read the void. Basically, it's an area. There's a lot of like region when it comes to League of Legends. Reading them is actually quite fun if you really want to do it. Here you go. I will be doing some reading on the void. I'll be like, hey, it's me! Because I am the void itself, okay? That can speak. In some sense, damning. Alright, the void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknown, nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be immortal, touched by this power, is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose, to usher the total oblivion across Runeterra. Alright, I'm not exactly doing right. I'm just want to find a good turn of voice for it. I heard it. Didn't do a very great job. I'm going to try to record it while I'm reading it. Where is... I need to find Audacity for it. Hold on a bit. Okay, I have Audacity here. And let's do some audio setup. Playback device, going to set on... Where's my mouse? Yes, mouse. And the recording device is also mouse. Okay, done. Let's do it again. Like, we will do it, start all over again. I record it and I need to listen it to myself. It is good or not. Okay, I'm not sure to show the playback to you guys too, so depends. Like later after I record it, I'll ask you guys again when I try to listen to it. So let me. I'm slapping the stomach, so the diaphragm. Wake up the diaphragm. Ooh. Yep, this is my diaphragm training. Warm up, warm up, warm up. Alright, alright. Drink some water first. Hydrate, hydrate, guys. Hydrate, everyone. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe, the void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until it master the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agony glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. I don't feel I did a good job. I'm going to play it, and you guys can be a judge of it. I'm going to also have to make a special one. Hold on. Audacity. And alright, add to executable. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe, the void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until it master the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agony glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. I say it didn't do a good job. I didn't speak fast enough. Like the pause in between is a little bit too much. Yeah, to be honest, having my nose clogged is like not the best thing to do too. It's like, isn't having like allergy like the worst case possible voice actor can have? Hmm. I don't think so. I'm not really sure. But yeah. So far, I do think like I uh, uh, so this is the playback speed. Can I default it back to 0? Back to 1? Okay, good. So far from what I can see, I'm not doing that part yet. Nah, having throat injury is the worst case. Now, here's the thing, like, when I try to breathe, I will suck into my gut. Something like this. So when I kind of, like, speak for a little bit too long, I might have to suck in quite a large gulp of air into my lung. But the problem is, my nose have allergy, so it's generally almost 90% is blocked. When I say 90% is blocked, I mean like include one of my nose is completely blocked, and then like another nose of mine is kind of like 90% blocked. So I usually use my mouth to breathe a lot more than I think. Yeah. And funny thing is like when doctors notice like my nose is that bad, and then they are concerning about my oxygen intake and suspect that, you know, like I have lots of dizziness issues aside from my vertigo, and they suspect that the main culprit why I'm so dizzy actually may have been my nose, because I didn't breathe in that much. So they try to test out my blood, and they realize something, that is like my blood apparently have the efficiency of a Olympic swimmer. Basically just saying is like I have a almost like, technically not almost, like it's literally 100% like oxygen efficiency burn rate. So it's like my blood is retaining 100% oxygen while I'm breathing. That is something not a lot of people can actually do by default. Some people can born with it, but usually people have to like train themselves to actually have the ability to retain that much oxygen. That explains that why I can hold my breath under the water that long. Is a buff overall in some sense. Just saying that I am a normal person, because the doctor told me that my body apparently is a very, like, in a sense, is a very blessed body. Why I can handle so much debuff on my body is because like they finished checking my body, like how my muscle work, how my reflexes, and why my body can sort of like adapt to this like shitty situations and then able to function that well. It's mainly because I am born with a athlete body. Like those kind of, like, some people like are literally born with like a natural athlete body. They can do quite lots of stuff quite easier, and then, you know, like maneuver their body and learn how to do things like faster than most people. I was born with those kind of senses and body. That's why I can sort of like handle myself to a certain level. Yeah, but the problem is like, of course, I have lots of nerve, so it kind of like balance them out. The problem is like, because when it comes to like doing voiceover, they are a good technique for not a lots of like people not notice you are like, you know, taking deep breath like that. The moment you just heard is to use your nose to breathe it in silently, but I can't. So I have to do the thing that, have anyone watched the olden time Chocolate Rain? So every single time he do this song called Chocolate Rain, when he need to take in a deep breath, he just Chocolate Rain, and then sing something, and then he will look to the side, and then I come back. Da, 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 da. That is actually legitimately one of the way to do it, but it looks kind of ridiculous. And when you actually take in deep breath, you have like a longer pause too. So that is why in between you can hear and hear everything is like end up like you can. Sadly, I can't actually put it here. Like yeah, you can hear like most of the times that there's like this huge pause in there. Can be an issues. Currently, this is the raw without edit audio, so that can be one part of the things too. Or maybe I can hit the record and do this. So it have like the compression and stuff in there. No, I don't need to save. I don't need Audacity. And let's go to the filters. When it comes to like raw voice acting, I think the only thing you can have is compressor. But yeah, you guys can hear the noise, right? Having a noise gate, I'm not sure is going to be good, but yeah, at the end, I think I need noise suppression. I'm not using a audio amp, sadly, so it's not like removing those static voice noise, so I have to use noise suppressions. But I need to remove the limiter. Compressor wise, I don't need the gain anymore. I just boost up the gain like here on 10 decibel. Should be good enough. And I'll hit the record and start reading again. So, yeah. Alright, alright. Ready? Oh, this thing is still here. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. I'm wasting my breath saying 3, 2, 1. Gosh dang it. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. Okay, I stopped the record. Make a mistake there. I didn't take in breath like deep enough like within this apostrophe, and then I just one line shot through here and then I ran out of breath. I don't have enough lung capacity, I guess. Like I say, I didn't breathe a lot, so lung capacity might be an issue here. I need to do more like deep breath exercise every morning to like increase my lung capacity, I guess. Let me wait a minute. Where is it? I need to find, hold on a bit. Found you. I need to find my nasal spray to open my nose up a little bit. That might be help a little bit on my case. Okay. Let's do this again. Can I zoom it in even more? Yes, I can. All right. Drink some water. Okay, the throat is clear and everything is fine. Let's ready start. The void screaming into existence. Gosh dang it, I messed up. Also, hi there, Ali. Tomiko. Opinion about AI art? Really depends on how you use it. You know what? It's not exactly interrupting. Let me show you guys a little bit this thing. All right. Just maybe I haven't really finished this thing yet. Let me open up a new one. And okay. When you have to talk about AI art, it's something I won't really say is a very difficult topic. Because here's the thing. Shitty person exists. They are going to be shitty persons that use AI and then claim they are the one who drawing it. That is kind of like the wrong sense of thought. And lots of people think of that way too. I think AI is not really too big of a crime. The problem is the person who's using it. And there are always good way to use it, but generally you can say majority of the percentage of people using AI, they never really have good intentions, or they never really understand what they're doing that much. It's basically like using calculators. There are people who use calculator. There are people who literally rely on calculator. That's two different things. Basically, it's like if you do one like science like scientific formulas, you as a person understand the science behind the formulas and how to do the calculations, why this kind of numbers had to be added, why there's a E in the equal MC square. There's a lot of reason for it, and you understand it when you try to use the calculator to calculate it. You know what number you are inputting, you know what you are doing, and when you see the result is somewhat you expected the result. But nowadays there are so many calculators have built-in formulas in there. You can literally press a few buttons, the formula just pop out. All you need to do is fill in the blank, done. You don't even have to remember the formulas. You don't even have to understand the formula, because you just being presented a problem and you just see the number, key in the number, voila, pops you go, got answer is there. And people have been relying on this type of thing for so long, and they completely forgot what the like formula is represented as, this and that, yeah, that stuff. That is what lots of people will perceive when it comes to AI art, because it's a whole nother level of being rely on such things. Of course, it's a very good thing. Like imagine this, the good applications when it comes to this is if you draw a bunch, upload it into the AI that just only spend all its time to read the animation you create, the art you draw, this and that, yeah, that stuff, and the background art you have this and that. And if you study your art style, study how you color stuff, study how you do the animations, and then voila, you can become a one-man army animator. It might not be the best for the industry, but for a personal standpoint, if you are trying your best to bring out your own personal animations out, and it's your dream to create a anime, at least like one episode of anime. This thing literally helps you to do a one-man army solutions. And yeah, it's a, in a sense, like, for me, back in the days before like AI become like full on contaminated by opportunities, and that is the thing I perceive in the first place. And then how things like evolve is like completely unexpected. And there's another one that is, before all this AI thing exists, let me wear my glove. This kind of thing already exists a long time ago, in a way for you to understand it. And it's just not a lot of people actually know its existence. Let me do this. If I draw an eye here, no, not eye. Let me try to. This is a very failed version of face. This is embarrassing. Let me turn off the. No, I don't even need to turn it off. Just have this as fun. Let's see. I'm just randomly drawing a face, so it's not going to be the best quality of it. I'm just randomly draw this. And then I'm going to turn this into reference. And randomly give this a paint. And go. Oh, let's add some shadow. Okay, I have all this right now. And oh, gotta paint this part. Alright, I have all this material informations and everything. Edit. I already click this thing. Select this, edit, and using the colorized technologies, and hint using image and colorized. So I already have it as a reference, the line, and then I already have the colors there. I'm selecting the colors, and then I use the hint and colorize. And let's wait for the magic. Oh wait, I haven't selected yes yet. Don't show me this ever again. So this technology exists. In fact, like, this is like way before, way before AI is a thing. Of course, this is not like the end all be all thing. As you kind of like look at it, it's not a good thing because like they never really advance or like improve the technology itself, sadly. I'm not sure the other if I click this, colorize this thing, does it become more accurate? Well, you can do quite lots of things in here. The accuracy setting, let's have a higher bump up in accuracy, and don't need to remove the line. The blur strength, yeah, they have a big blur here, so reduce the blur. Oh, we might need the blur. So you can also do somewhat of adjustment to a certain level, but again, you can actually do this kind of things. So I'm just randomly color this thing. So imagine I have this. Now I haven't really do all this thing properly yet, of course. The background is actually very shady. I'm just testing like how the lighting works. And asked an expert. He gave me an answer. So just look at this thing. I didn't really do this thing properly. And let's say I'm going to use this. Oh, it's already a reference. And I'm going to select all the color, just flat color. Currently, everything is just flat colors that I just filled in. And then I do a all select. And no, I should do this in another page. This is some other people work. I should not mess up. Let me copy and paste in here. Okay, I'm going to select this as a reference, which is already did, and I'm going to copy this, and then I can put a advanced fill, use hint to colorize, or use the advanced setting. Let's use the advanced setting and take a look at it first. See, it kind of give a certain level of gradients like in there. I can choose how much I want to do things, adjust them to my liking, or reduce the accuracy to like 1:1 or 2:1. And this is like remove line, is like how much things are going to paint over the line. So the more you have, the more they want so like go over bound. So you can see it like it increase, like the clothes originally doesn't really have any gradient at all. Now they have a little bit of gradient look into it. And when I do this, I can actually select how it works. Again, really depends on how you actually use it properly. And let's do it again. Just colorize. Like there's so many things you can do to it. But you have to like use it enough time to actually know how to do this properly. And this is shit. I didn't do it properly. I rarely use this thing, so I don't know how to make this function properly. But aside from this, there's actually another like AI technology does exist a long time ago too. That's like shading technologies. How shading technology works is actually pretty interesting itself. So imagine this. I select all this thing, and then I say I need to create a shading. I'm too lazy to draw, so now you see this. Depends on the lighting I create, the shading change. I can literally put in here and put a standard into it. Maybe backlight or stage light. Depends on how you want things to do. It changes how the lighting works. So I can again use the backlight again. See, this doesn't work that well for me. Usually I use the faint backlight. It have more of a gradient there, so even I put like in a very big glow, also like darker shadow, because like behind him have a very big stained glass like that. And you can see like a lot of things you can do. Like you literally saved up quite a lot of time on coloring just to do this thing. It's not that bad. And you can do quite lots of stuff with it. Like literally you can just customize the shading. I actually originally it's like yellow. I kind of like it. And if you don't really like red as the dark shadow color, you can just choose blue. And then now voila, you got this thing. And if you don't really want it, you want a more saturated gray, voila, you got it. Or you just literally want black. You got all this thing. It's actually pretty fun to like learn how to do things properly. Of course, the more you use, then the more you understand how to do it. But if you didn't actually use it much, you might not know how you going to use this thing properly. So sorry that I was like too into like talking about this kind of things. Hello there, Destiny. Hello there, Gan. Yeah. Hi there, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kiray and I am your host and your voice for the voice here to entertain you and may or may not went off tangent and start talking about this AI thingy. But yeah, like at the end, really depends on how you use it. If I have a better technologies that utilize this both thing on the colorized technologies and the shading technologies, I would be really happy for it. Like the colorized, it might not work as intended, but it's kind of like a tool for you to create a certain amount of gradient into your characters, and then the shading is like a very good environmental systems. It's like I can have like a lot of like raw shading already, like ambient shading already on the characters, and then I have this thing add along with it as a environment shading. Is a game changer on lots of things. And I'm not kidding about that. It's really a game changer. But the problem is, they didn't really develop beyond after its creation, so it was never really dive into it. And of course, there are more better AI technologies out there right now. But the problem is, I have a little bit gripe with like Clip Studio. They just made it and never touch it again. A lots of AI like auto color thing or auto draw thing, they never really have a good drawing tool to begin with. And what happened if you have like a person who's really good at drawing and he know how to use AI at the same time too? It's a very big benefit. Of course, again, like I say, when it comes to AI, it really the biggest problem here is the user. The 90% of the users that use AI is not really a good person. I'm not kidding. Is of course there are people utilizing it in the good way, but there are also way more people are utilizing AI in a bad way. And then the attitude they have is also very bad too. So it end up have this very negative press when it comes to AI stuff. So yeah, it's again like it really depends on person opinion. For me, I think it's useful. Even as an artist myself, I'm not the best artist in the world. Of course, you already can see all this. I have certain level of skill, but not high level skill. I can't draw background, so usually when you see everything I draw, it's almost like the background is literally not there. Even is there like this one, it was never in a good enough qualities. So this is this is just that is a fact for like a lot of things that is there. It can do good, of course. It's same with fire, it's same with calculators. People can use it or rely on it and or abuse it. It's a very different way on how people are going to think. It's just going to take a long time for some ethical thought that people starting to have in their mind. But nowadays, a lot of people are actually quite stupid, so I'm not really sure are they going to evolve similarly with how people are going to use the calculator, or how people are going to use Wikipedia, how people are going to treat like internet. Even now you can see how people are mistreating and misusing internet these days. When you look at AI, you kind of have a little bit of worry. Now, let's say again, like, Clip Studio really should have invested something instead of just never really improve them at all after they put them in there. I can literally right now, I can just click this and let's click this as a reference. I already finished our, so it's fine. Have this thing on, and let's use the colorize again. Okay, colorize using image and colorize. So now you have seen this, like I already have a certain level of like gradient in there. With this thing here right now, I can literally, after I have this thing here, and all I need to do is just clip. Now you might not be able to see it, but there's actually color on the line art right now. Or I can just choose not to have it. See? It created a very interesting line art right now. Of course, it still requires some polish and stuff. If I really do this in a more proper way, I might be able to change it into something very, very interesting. Really depends how a person is going to perceive and how a person is going to adjust according to it. Be smart at what you're doing. It's similar with like, not lots of people are going to use Liquify 2. And what is Liquify 2? If you didn't know about it, Liquify 2 is something like this. Let's select all this thing. I'm going to ruin this thing, so don't worry, I can't undo. Here's the thing, like, this is a Liquify tool, and sometimes if I say like, oh, this eye is not big enough, a lot of people don't really like the idea of using Liquify tool, because if you really don't know what you are doing, if I do something like this eye and this eye have like different shape. I want them to have a little bit similar shape. I noticed this is a little bit too small, so I'm using the Liquify tool to increase this particular eye shape. And after I increase the size, the concaveness of it a little bit, I'm going to use this tool to drag them out a little bit. So now you see the eyes probably like this. Like, this is because I use Liquify 2 quite a lot, and then I know what I'm doing. Why people don't really like Liquify 2 a lot? Because a lot of people actually don't know what they're doing. Look at this, like, if I say I'm going to use this thing, I'm just use the most basic Liquify 2 trying to fix it. And Oh gosh, I'm too good at doing this, but um, yet you can see like there's something affecting it, like the overall, like even I know where to touch it, where to not touch it. Imagine people just like generally, okay, I didn't, the eye is like going back to normal. Like imagine people didn't know how to do it. They would just see like, oh, this eye I need it bigger, so I have this size, I increase it this way. I notice it actually like moved other line too, so it end up didn't do a proper job. And then you see like, oh, now this part is a little bit too big, so I'm going to like squeeze this and squeeze that. You notice like the iris has been like bend over a little bit. So really, it also depends on, do you really know what you're doing? There's so many people who use AI actually have legitimately no idea what they're doing. And they kind of know what prompt to type in to make the things they sort of wanted, but they don't exactly know what they're doing. It's similar, like I say again at the very beginning, when it comes to like calculators. Back in the days, we use calculator while we remember the formula, we understand the formula, we know what is the scientific meaning of what this thing is. You know what's the m in the E equal x mc square, and you know your stuff when you key in the stuff, and when you see the answer, it's the answer you expected. But when it comes to time, it slowly evolved to the calculator literally have the formula in there. And from a person who use a calculator, slowly as generation pass, it become, nowadays people are relying on the calculator. It's a very different terms of use. Learn how to use it and learn how to rely on it. Both is a very different thing. So the people who create the AI, they know how to use it because they are using it. But when this thing is widely available for everyone, there are so many people who are literally relying on it. And those are mostly the bad actors and malicious people that generally are the loudest one in the communities. And then it makes things look really, really bad for AI. So really, again, like, depends on the personal opinion, to be honest. Ultimately at the end, for me, I always think it's like, you can, if you're a one-man army, you're not like a big corpo or something like that. Like, if you have a passion project, having an AI actually helps you a lot. Like, again, I can't draw background. If I have the ability to generate a background without too much of an issues, I actually will use it. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm not a really good background artist. I can went ahead and learn how to draw background too. Background takes a lot of time to draw. And you really need to touch grass a lot to the point that you actually know how to do a lot of things too. And it takes time. Some people can say I'm lazy. Some people say like can say I just doesn't have any talent. They are more or less right. Then I have some idea I want to do. If I say I'm not the best artist in the world, I love to draw, but I have a novel or a manga I want to draw, but I never know. There's some aspects going to always be missing. You notice like the background's not there, or like the background is badly drawn, and ruin the manga, no matter like how well I did the story. So what happened then? If I can make like an AI background behind it, and people see it while my character drawing is good, but my background is bad. Now the background is good, the character I draw is also good, and maybe I also can learn something from the background from the AI. Of course, like AI is not the best way to generate a lot of stuff or to learn from, but I do admit like quite a lot of AI have a very good background, and they are very good on like the color things. I won't say color theory is the best in match, but they have a very good color ratio. if you guys didn't know like what color ratio is, like is the certain level of amount of color that should be in and should be out and should be in the background, should be in the foreground. They have quite a lot of like good ability to judge what kind of color should be back, what kind of color should be out, what color is the most used in the artwork, and most color that have a lots of like eye-catching color, but they know how to balance it out by fusing the ratio of that colors to a certain level only. It's like, you notice I have lots of green. Green is a very like glaring color, so it's a very difficult to actually draw a proper clothes or anything that have green in there. And the green, I'm not saying the green I have right now. I'm literally saying some green like this level of green. Oops, I think you can see it. So like, I mean like this level of green. You can see it right now, like how freaking bright this screen is. Like, you can't actually use this screen properly on a lots of cases unless you have a proper ratio, only using it at some certain accessories, certain thing to highlight some certain stuff, or have a limited use but also use as much as you like in the same time. It requires a certain ratio within how much you can have inside the artwork to actually do it. When it comes to clothes, that canvas is going to be very small. So a lot of like design when it comes to this kind of things, color ratio from AI is actually pretty good. You can really study color ratio from AI. Might not be the drawing technique, might not be the background technique or anything like that. Like literally, you can use it for color study, use it for mood board. It's actually a pretty good thing. Of course, there are people who use mood board for like as like the drawing reference too, but I usually just use mood board for color reference. So having AI art, literally like a good ratio of a color of AI art that I selected as a mood board, is actually a very good way to do lots of things. So yeah. Well, let's move on a lot about that. Like I've been talking about this thing a little bit too much, and let's move back to what I was like doing. I was like ago. Um, that's the question out of left field, but I was really trying to do a voiceover training. So yeah, let me go back to this. Drink a little bit of water too. I've been talking a little bit too much. I was trying to find some official stuff to read to improve my ability to read and the pacing of reading, and also the diaphragm control, something like that. And yes, I'm going to like change up how I'm going to read stuff, this and that, yada stuff. Hold on a bit, let me drink some water. Bum 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 ba-dum. All right. All right. I'm going to hit the record. I'm going to record this thing, and afterward, I will like listen to it back and see, do a little bit judging, do a little bit of like, like studying, like how good I did, how bad I did. So, ready. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe, the void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, awaiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be mortal. Gosh, I botched the second. But I'm going to listen to the first paragraph. I read it first. Like when it comes to like edit magic, they can just like say the first paragraph and then record the latter paragraph later. So that kind of things can do if you kind of like have issues to do those kind of things. Let me find the OBS record of this. Not sure you guys can hear it. Oh, wait a minute. This is not the record I have. Let's move it and have a little bit. Let me. This is Soul TV. This is record. Where's Audacity? Okay, here. Let me add in VLC, VLC, VLC. Okay, let's have this open and find VLC. Weird. I can't find VLC, I think. Oh, I found it. Me and my big small eye. The void. Sorry, I was using the wrong medium to listen on. Alright, good. Coming into the void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, awaiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be mortal. Gosh, I botched the second. But the void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknown nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, awaiting through the eons until its master. Hello? Okay. Hold on a bit. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. Where was I again? Oh, yes. Well, I noticed a mistake and I need to point that out. Hold on a bit. Let me wear my headphone first. I need to listen to the volume feedback for doing these kind of things. All right. As you guys already noticed, when I say waiting, I change to await. This is a very big issues I have. I keep changing word. I don't know why. Maybe it makes sense. Either way, like, when it comes to voice over reading, it's kind of like a very verbatim stuff. So it's a very required things for you to be able to like do voiceover quite properly, and I literally missed the like that particular thing. Not sure why no notifications. Maybe I spam a little bit too much video out, and then YouTube just decided not to notify you. That's the thing. If you really want, you can click the bell icon and stuff. Maybe like it automatically switch it off. Really depends. Really depends. Because yesterday I did spam like 2 clip out and then one stream, so it's a lots of notifications when it comes to a normal person who consume YouTube stuff, you know. Imagine like you already have like a few subscriptions and a few things that you already marked that you have to look. They will actually limit your notifications, like not going to bother you that much. Those kind of system is there. It's like your phone have a message and then it will ring maybe once or twice, but when you have like 50 message coming in, it only ring for like 2 to 3 times and then it just stop ringing overall. Maybe in between they will give a few ring again, but afterward it just keep on say silence for like the rest of it. This kind of like notification system exists. And I botched my reading. Waiting, not a wait. Like, gosh dang it. I really have a very bad reading ethic because I keep changing people's word. That's the like the biggest crime of all. So let's do another one. Let me raise this up to my mouth a little bit more, and I think the camera can't see me when I sit up right. Let me. Oh, they can. Good. All right then. Ba 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 boop 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 boop. Ah. Too bad I got like a cyst like in my lips, so it's kind of like bothering me speaking too. But practice sessions is practice sessions. Like no matter what kind of things are bothering you, you should be able to power through it. All right. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe, the void is a manifestation of the unknown, nothingness that lies beyond. It's a force of insatiable hungers, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, marked the final time of undoing. I messed up the timing and pacing, gosh dang it. Pretend that record did happen, just delete it. And let's do it again, but need to drink some water. I talk a little bit too much. Because halfway practice, like I got the question out of left field. Hey, what's your opinion on AI? And I went off tangent, just like, I think that I literally spent like 30 minutes just to talk about that thing. More than 30 minutes, to be honest. All right. Let's do this. The void. Screaming into exist with the gosh dang, I already messed up. Exists. No, I'm trying to remove the S from me. Screaming into the exist. Because here's the thing, like of course there's like the easier exists in the world when you do editing, but it's best when you learn how to do voice acting, I think personally, to have the ability to pronounce it to a way that the S is not that pronounced, like it exists, but it won't be lingering in the record, like have a lot of something like that, you know. So I'm trying to remove the S as best as possible, but also in the same time did say the S. Ash, 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 is. All right, again. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of internal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are the construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. I don't think I did a good job. I ran out of breath in some sentence, and I had to take another breath again. Gosh dang it! I need to learn how to manage my breath properly. So far. Let me do another listens to my own record. Okay. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of internal unreality. Yeah, this part, enough to this particular part that I ran out of breath. Touched by this power is to suffer and by this time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of internal unreality. Okay, the pacing in this one is too messed up. Gosh dang it. Now here's the thing, like when reading in one go, what the most important thing so far I learned is diaphragm. You need to have a consistent control of a diaphragm to expel the air quite in the consistent term, so you can like ride on the air with it like coming out from the body, and then you just make sound from that. Problem is, I haven't had the ability. I think I have the ability to like have a consistent expel of air, but due to my I was born with like allergy, so I breathe in less than most people. I have a pretty strong diaphragm, or you can say pretty stiff diaphragm, but also at the same time, I don't really have a lot of lung capacity because I never really breathe that much, so I end up don't really have a lot of air in me. That might be one of the many problems I have, but this thing can be like remedied by like a lot of training. So yeah. So removing this, I'm going to delete this. I don't even need it. I need a perfect record of this, and then I can show it to a associate of mine that have dabbled into like voice acting a lot, and I want to show to him and then have some opinion, but I need a good clip. Like last time I did a fun clip that, with you guys, and you guys just write anything you want and then I just read it. Just a little bit of like play, you know? Just playing around, have some fun. But because I made the clip right as my starting journey, I of course like before that I do proper practice before I went to the fun part, because like being a content creator, of course, you make the fun clip first before the boring clip. So like he watched a fun clip and have lots of complaint. Well, he did like give quite a few good advice from it too, of course. Yeah, but I do want to give a little bit proving that I'm actually treating this very seriously. Okay, it's not like I'm really playing around. I'm content creating at the same times, of course. Like sometimes I play around with you guys. It's literally my job. All right. The void, screaming into the existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation, unknowable nothingness. I messed up. I forgot the manifestations of the. I am an idiot. All right. I have to redo this. The void, screaming into exist with the birth of the universe. For some reason, I messed up that. Screaming into exist, not existence. I keep adding existence. I need to be more verbatim on like my ability to speak properly. I need to speak the word more accurately. This is why I need to keep reading this until I have the ability to remove the habit of adding and removing stuff. Okay? Well, welcome to the look, Creamy. Have fun doing your things. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until it master the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. This is a little bit fast, but I have to list. But in my impression, it's fast. I'm not sure in reality it's fast. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast. Need to be at a certain pacing. I need to be at a certain pacing. And gosh dang, Kiray, stop messing around. Just focus. Okay? Okay, this is how long I can expel my air in a consistent tone. Need to get this feeling in. Diaphragm, wake up. Alright. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are the construct creatures, often only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in the total oblivion to across Runeterra. I was doing good, man. Freak. I messed up. Ah! I need to at least record like one good one, okay? You guys have to be suffering. I am doing practice and training. So, yes, you are come here to watch me suffer. And you guys need to suffer with me by hearing this 1,000 times. Alright, alright. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting. Stop saying awaiting, asshole. I keep saying awaiting through the eons. Like, I think it's just awaiting is the better word. Is it? Like, is awaiting the better word than waiting? I'm not sure at this point. Why I keep saying awaiting? My brain just keeps snapping into awaiting for some reasons. Like, again, like, I need to have this monotone thoughts of like not correcting stuff and just do it, you know? Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be immortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often only limited sentience, but with the task, but with a task. Ah. You know what? I think like among all my like filters that I remove, I think limited is still really required to exist. Because sometimes in my maniacal laughter I might laugh a little bit too loud. Okay. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. I don't know why I paused there. I screwed up again. Gosh dang it. Alright, let's do this properly. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is the force of insatiable hunger, awaiting, I keep saying awaiting. You know, I'm gonna slap myself next time I say awaiting again. Imagine like some League of Legends like lore writers are watching me right now, and then he'd be like, yeah, actually awaiting is fancy, and then add a awaiting there. If it actually happens, thank you. Thank you. Aside from that, let's continue. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hungers, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. Finally! Yeah! I finally did it without a mistake. How many think I did? 50 takes later. And people say like voice acting is an easy job. Voice acting is not an easy job. Especially for a person who has somewhat a certain level of dyslexia. I'm not really have dyslexia, but I'm reading the word is like a little bit double visions because my left eye and right eye see color a little bit different, so it's something of a double visions. So I might have hard time reading, so I have to like make sense of the word myself most of the time when I'm reading stuff. And because my ears also actually don't really hear things well because of the 24/7 tinnitus, I also actually just guess the stuff, like mostly get input into me. Basically, when people talk to me, I just guess half of the thing they're telling me. And when I'm reading stuff, I just guess half of the thing I'm reading. I'm not kidding. It's actual things that happens to me. Like, I think if I actually try hard enough, because I've been living through this thing like for my entire life, so I never really like actively try my best to listen to people or read things because, well, it's kind of like A, I'm lazy, and B, sorry, a little bit gassy, and B, I really not learn. I really learned to like not bother with this kind of things, you know. And in order to celebrate, of my success now, let's listen to what I've made. Holy shit, I have so many Easter eggs. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hungers, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest. Ah shit, I messed up in this part. Denizen of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience. Messed up on that part. But tasked with a singular purpose, to usher in total oblivion. Messed up that part. Runeterra. I thought I did great. My pride. My pride. Maybe I need to use this voice. Again. Most of the time I compress my voice, so it sounds like what I sound. But again, in reality, this is my actual voice. I might have to learn to relax my vocal cord a little bit more, so I don't have to full on focus on stressing my vocal cord. Of course, why I sound I usually is kind of like a bug happening to my vocal cord. Back in the days when I was a kid, I went into lots of singing competitions and do lots of singing practice, and I was like around like most of the time I was never the first place, to be honest, but at least I was like in the second place once, and then most of the time it's just third to fifth place, and I was really proud of my singing ability back in the days. But puberty hits, lost my voice, and tried my best to sing in higher pitch, so I trained myself to even speak in higher pitch, so I can have a higher pitch singing voice. But doing that keeps stressing my vocal cord to losing my voice. So now my vocal cord is kind of like 24/7, so like stressing and squeezing. This is why I have a lot of like sound in there. It's basically my voice is kind of ruined by like squeezing my vocal cord a little bit too much. And even I'm at the relaxed state, my vocal cord itself is like a default on squeezing mode. I have to learn how to relax my vocal cord actively instead of like like squeezing it. I have to actively relaxing it. It's like the reverse situations to go back my original voice, which is sounds ridiculous, to be honest, but yeah, I have a much more deeper voice in reality, but I never really use it. Never really managed to use it unless there's two situations that happen. Not that I wake up, it's when I'm sick. When I'm sick, my body's weak and my voice would naturally go back to this tone. And when I'm sick, I'm not even talking about like those kind of sick that affect your throat. I mean like legit just having like a minor fevers or like you're not feeling well, something like that. Nothing that affect the throat. Not like coughing, not like this and that. It's literally just not feeling well. My voice can come back when I'm not feeling well. And my friend heard, like back in the days, like first time my friend heard this voice, they'd be like, wait a minute, this is your voice? And I'll be like, yes, this is my voice. This is my original voice. I just I just don't know why I can't return to it normally. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. So I should use my default voice to do this. Let me do one more time. This will be the one last time. If I messed up, it's I messed up. I need to start doing some drawing, of course. Alright then. The void. Screaming into the existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond its. Shit. No. Retake. I realized that I'm not reading the actual page. The word is too small for me to read. Alright. The void. Screaming into existence with the. Shit. Not used to this voice to read. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is manifestations of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of unsatiable hunger, awaiting through the eon. Fuck. I gotta know now. I gotta know now. It's awaiting the correct word. Why my brain keeps snapping into awaiting? Stop it, Kiray. Just read what you see. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is manifestations of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is the force, it is a force, not the force. Gosh dang idiot. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, wading through the eons until it mastered the mysterious watcher, marked the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. And I messed up the often of only limited sentience. Who wrote this? Often of only limited sentience is like practically wrote it to like tick off people trying to read this. So many O in there. Like I write stuff before. I know you should not repeat the stuff, have the same pronunciation over and over again. That's the freaking rule. Ah, you know what? I drank too many water. I need to go to the toilet. Hold on a bit. Alright, I'm back. Hold on a bit. I'm still at a distance. I need to wear the headphone. I guess people are already starting to get boring at my failure. I'm a failure. You know what? You know what? You know what? Let me have some fun. Not just boring stuff, okay? Let me go full on Uncle Kiray and say this. Okay? Okay? Okay. The void screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eon until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. Haha. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind, like me. Denizens of the void, its realm itself, are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, like my brain, but tasked with a singular purpose to usher in the total oblivion of the cross Runeterra. How am I able to say this so correctly in this tone of voice, and I can't speak English properly when I try to speak English properly? Gosh dang it. Why? Why? How am I able to read this so correctly when I try to read it, actually try to read it, and I can't? This is not possible. I have to do this. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through. Ah, gosh dang it. Katoosh. Why? I need to channel my inner Uncle Roger when I'm reading, but not actually saying like Uncle Roger. Come on, Kiray. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. The void. The void. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hungers, waiting. I need to call Riot. imagine the like a tech support guy came in there listening to me bitching about like, can you change the word waiting to awaiting? I tried to practice reading. I found a huge flaw in your writing. Like, you should write awaiting through the eons until it master instead of saying waiting through the eons until it's master, okay? I'm getting slowly descending into insanity. I think the people who wrote the void, they wrote this on purpose, so they literally go into insanity and agonizing insanity. I see. I can't even say agonizing. Gosh dang it! I have to be very emotional when I start speaking, I guess. Alright. I'm starting to get a little bit dizzy, to be honest, but I have to do this. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final times of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often only limited. My sentience level is dropping. My intelligence levels keep dropping while reading this thing. I've tried to think like there's a lot of word I can read in like the Runeterra. I'm the void. I should read the void, and then I realized that holy heck, the void is really literally slowly driving me insane. Now it's not like I'm doing practice at this moment. This is a vendetta at this point. I need to finish this thing. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eon until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of the eternal unreality, not of the internal unreality. Gosh dang it, let's do it again. Why stutter so much? Because I'm not a professional. I'm practicing. Besides, for some reason, if I go full on Uncle Kiray, I can speak everything without any issues. This is extremely weird. I'm not kidding. I literally have it record, I think. The void, screaming into existence with the birth. Not us. The void. Not us. The void. The void. I didn't record that. Screaming into the existence with the wait, I did. Of the universe. Is it this one? The void. The void. Scream. The void. The void. Yes, this one. Screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eon until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. Haha. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind, like me. Denizens of the void, its realm itself, are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, like my brain, but tasked with a singular purpose to usher in the total oblivion of the cross Runeterra. The void, screaming into existence with you know what? You guys can have a laugh at that. That is basically my comedic tone. I have no idea. If I speak it like that, I can speak it quite accurately for some reasons. When I try to be serious and mysterious, for some reason I can't read it. I try to be professional and become like, for some reason I keep adding word and correcting stuff. And when I'm actually not serious, like my brain like automatic corrections is just gone, and then I can like speak properly. Not speak properly, not more like turn off my brain and then read word by word instead of like have like active process. You know what? I should like send this clip to my friends and then that like voice acting from it and let him watch this and then let's see like he laughed or not. I know he'd take his job very seriously, so he might like scold me instead, but still. The void screaming into exile. Okay, it's this one. Oh, I can't send it to them because it's in MKV. I need to remove attachment. I'm going to drop the video into this. And MP4. Re-render everything. And how big this file is. This file is like around 20. So I'm going to lock this in 24. So it's possible and render. Come on, render it faster. Sorry, I can't read the chat at the moment because I'm seeing lots of other stuff. Three, two, one. Yes, render finished. I need some time to take a break and retain my sanity. I'm literally trying to speak just this 2 paragraph properly for 2 freaking hour. Technically, I spent like 40 minutes, like went off tangents on AI stuff, but What are my avatar arms? It's always there. I'm under table. No, English is not my first language. I'm a Malaysian Chinese, so Chinese is Mandarin is my first language. Cantonese is my second language. My third language is Malay, and my fourth language is Hakka, and my fifth language is a little bit tiny bit of Hokkien, and my sixth language is English, and then my seventh language is Japanese. But I only can listen to Japanese only. I'm sort of like a situation that I can communicate with Japanese people by they speaking Japanese to me, and I reply them in English. And if they understand English, it's a win-win situation. But if it's not, then yeah, we basically cannot. It's not like I don't need to flex on this. Apparently I forgot people can't like learn that much language. This is actually a very basic thing when it comes to Malaysians. A lot of Malaysians have more than one language. We know, at least by default, like the most basic default, we know 3 language or 2 language. And normally, as a Malaysian Chinese, that you have your, of course, Mandarin already in there, and then you need to learn your country language, which is Malay. By default, you already need to know like these 2 things: your race language, your country language, and then afterward, you learn English, the global language. Yeah, this 3 language is like by default you normally need to have it. And if they are Malay themselves, they sometimes might know how to speak Mandarin, but by default they would just know Malay and English. That would be 2 things. And that is the perk of like being Malay. They don't really need to learn 3 language, but being other race like Indian or Kazakh or a Chinese, we technically by default we have 3 language in us. And being a Chinese, you can't, aside from like the Mandarin, you have your family tongue. It's like a certain dialect that basically it's a completely different language. So it's a mother tongue. So it's called Hakka, Hokkien, Gongfu, like a lots of like Jiangdong, like a lots of like different like mother tongue like dialect language adding into it. It's a completely different word you use for pronouncing things. Like the grammar is the same, but it's a completely different word. So it's really hard. It's almost to the point. It's literally a different language. So also by law, being a weeb, you need to, in a certain level, understand Japanese to a certain level. So you you also learn a little bit about Japanese at this point. So yeah, we know a lot of language, and by default, in there we use a certain type of language. Is called Rojak language, or Rojak word. It's basically we mix in all the word we learn, and through our communications, like we sometimes use our own basic because sometimes we are not the best at using other language, so we mix in the language we personally know and communicate with each other. But sometimes they don't know the language we used to, but gradually we pick up the stuff like we pick up the language of like each other's, and we manage to learn like quite a lot of language out from each other's. Later on, we manage to learn a things called a Rojak language, is to use each other word that we manage to pick up through experience, mix it up together, and then use it in one language. So we can literally to speak in the entire sentence with different language mixed into it. That is I think it's only a Malaysian capable to do that. Singaporean can do it too, but it's with a limited skill. Malaysian is the expert of doing that. Yeah, sometimes I completely forgot. Like, not lots of places actually know too much like different language, and by default, they already like I say again, if you are from different language, you would know your own country language and the global language. When I say global language, I mean it's like the English. And nowadays people are learning Mandarin too, because like, you know, China. And actually lots of places use Chinese too when they speak, you know, Mandarin. And yeah, learning Mandarin is actually quite a benefit too. So end up like a lots of Asian country have knowledge of Mandarin, their own country language, their English. So by default, like a lots of places actually know three language, because it does have benefit to know Mandarin and English while knowing to speak your own country language. So quite a lot of people who is like educated enough, they would have the ability to speak at least three language on Asia. That is pretty basic. Of course, like, it also depends the economic of the country itself, but still, generally, if you say like country like similar level with Malaysia's, they would have at least know like more than two languages, some for quite a quartering, maybe like a quarter of the populations, or like maybe if you met 10 people, maybe two or three knows like three language.我咧講話可以參好多嘢嘅，捱都唔知道，捱哋講得好多話噶啦，那我跟會啊、客家話啊、華語啊、英文啊、English and you know aside from English and also like a little bit of like Japanese actually, but I only can understand Japanese. I don't really understand that much. I just use like four, maybe five language in one go. And I'm not really an expert of like mixing language. I know lots of people actually can mix language quite easily. Sorry, I need to take in some breath because I'm ready for second round on this asshole thing. All right, have fun. I guess you've been hearing this. The void have been like slowly driving you crazy too. Don't worry, it's also driving me crazy. We are suffering together. Everyone's suffering together. All right, record. The void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. Stop record. Pachi, 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 finally! I need to hear the qualities of this thing, of this unfumble. I need to literally name this file unfumble file. rename it Unfumble the Void, screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion across Runeterra. Still bad, not the void. Best one. Man, I need more practice, but not this one now. I need to finally take a short break, start doing some drawing, finish my work, and if Mystery Box managed to get in, you got in too late. I finished all my voiceover sessions. Imagine the moment I start drawing, he came back. Ooh. Hold on. I need to, of course, take a break on my brain, but at the same time, I need to. my tummy is literally screaming from hunger. Sadly, I'm very, very, very hungry, but yeah. Hi there, Ron. I can't munch on something. I already ate something. It's just that I waste too much energy on doing voice acting, and I'm starting to get hungry again. Like, ooh gosh, there's a lot of things. Well, this is my starting journey of training to become a voice actor. I'm not a legit one yet. It's just that I have a lot of medical issues. I'm an unemployed content creator, to be honest, like in a sense. I have a disability, that is, my ears are born fucked. So my sense of balance is screwed. So when I get a little bit too emotional, too excited, or blood flow a little bit too fast, I would get dizzy. Like technically, even now, I'm actually have a certain level of vertigo. I'm just too unbothered by it because today is like a very good day for me. Like, if you watch me stream enough, you would notice sometimes I have like a very bad day or like a very unmanageable days. Like with enough time, if you watch me, you will see it. But today is a very good day for me, so I can manage myself quite well. But there are times that I'm literally unable to like do any task properly at all. Um, Sometimes I stream a very consistent time. Sometimes you won't see me do anything at all. I just disappeared in social media or not streaming at all, not making any video at all. It's because I'm actually dying on my bed. Not actually dying, of course. It's just metaphorically. But like my ear has some issues and I end up unable to focus my work. And without the ability of being able to focus is a very bad thing if you want to do actual work. Yes, vertigo. Hey, you're the only few person when I talk about ear issue without saying vertigo, you know it's vertigo. But yeah, I have this thing called AICA vestibular loop. It's not the worst thing. It's not the worst condition you have to have vertigo. Is the you can say like among all the medical conditions, the one that get the weakest vertigo is actually from AICA vestibular loop. Not the worst one you can get is either you have some physical damage to your ear balancing, or have Meniere's disease, which is an internal damage to your balancing organ. And for me, AICA is a what you call the A means arteries. So you kind of like slowly can sense things as not exactly damaging your ear, but it's going to affect it in a very different way. AICA is actually a disability in some or many countries, but also in same time in many countries it's not actually a disable. Sadly, in my country, it's not really a disability. So yeah, and AICA is the blood vessel that connected to your ear organ. Yeah, if you check it, it said it's a disability, but also same time it's not. So I'm not really sure. Um, Again, like it's your it's the blood vessel that connected to your ears is a little bit abnormally longer than most people, and it have a delayed blood flow, and also in the same time it's wrap around like sometimes depends on how you wrap around. Is touching your like the way it touch your like because it become a loop, it loop around inside your ears organ, so it depends on like the how bad the loop is touching your ear organ is going to affect people a very different degree. So this is a very controversial disability. It really depends on the person, like how much it affect you. So for me, I got the jackpot of it. I get a unrecoverable vertigo. And when I say unrecoverable vertigo, it's not really that bad. If anyone experiencing vertigo before, it's basically or if you never experienced vertigo, it's basically you stand on the spot, spin like 30 round, or maybe 30 is too much, 15 round, and then like 360 spin like 30 times or like 15 times and then stop. What you're feeling now while you're stopping, every word still spinning and shifting, that is vertigo. But that is like artificially created vertigo, so it's going to recover really fast. If you don't really have any physical issues, it's not going to be very big problem. The only big problem is like when you have abnormal things happen to you, like Meniere's disease or like mine one, AICA. We kind of suffering from it without even doing anything. For me, my vertigo is kind of like it's really hard to explain. It's not really that bad, but also same time it's not really that good. It's like it kind of like split in between that you are like slowly recovering from your vertigo, but it never really finished it recovered. So it's like in a limbo of almost recovered vertigo. It's not bad enough to affect you, but it also kind of noticeable that affect you, you know? That kind of things. So it's a very difficult sensation to tell people. It's like if I walk, sometimes I wobble, sometimes I don't. Really depends on how good I am being able to filter out like this misinformation that keep feeding into my brain. And I will have sometimes like if I have enough energy like today, I got enough sleep, I eat well, I exercise well, I got a very relatively healthy life, then being very careful, yeah, I would have a normal functions like today. Unlike like last few days that if anyone watch me, they might notice that I'm actually slurring my word and can't think that properly. Or halfway conversations, I literally forgot like what I was talking about. Is because like halfway I was talking, I would have this like episode, not actually actual episode. It's more like um a flash of vertigo. It's more like a 1-2 slap. Imagine like you got slapped, but your neck doesn't restrict how far your head turns. It's like a slap, your head just turned 360 maybe 1 or 2 times. It's not really that fast, but it's enough to disorient you for a bit. You kind of like forgot what you're doing. Um, that kind of stuff do happens time to times. Especially when I actually do some tasks that I really have to focus, like drawing, writing, or doing any task like calculating that require lots of focus. Sometimes I would lose my ability to sort of like adjust and hold up this like tiny vertical, and it sort of like unhinge a little bit, and then whee, that kind of things happens. So it's kind of like in a way it's a very like difficult things to talk about. Like in a sense, like even the doctors like know my situation is actually compared to a lot of people is like kind of bad because I have aside from like AICA, I have multitude of different like tiny debuff that somewhat enhance my vertigo to even stronger. I have a very bad nose allergy, so I breathe less, and because of that, I get slightly dizzier than most people because, of course, less oxygens. With like vertigo mixed into it, it makes things worse. And also due to that, I cannot exercise that well, so my body is not really like at like the best conditions. I'm getting older, so like my brain is slowly unable to catch up and being able to um adjust this like complications that I have. So this is why the older I get, the worse condition, the more unmanageable it becomes. And I only noticed it like 3 years ago, and then like I know like something's wrong with me, and then I go to see a doctor's. The doctor keep insisting I'm just like think too much, or I'm just being a bitch, you know. And I keep insisting I have issues until like they be like, ah, fine, go to this hospital. I recommended you, write a recommendation letter. They recommend me to a audiology hospital that specialize in like physiotherapy and audiology, this and that, yeah, stuff. So they have to do like physical testing. Generally, I actually function quite well. They are kind of surprised too because like they do some very detailed checking, and they realize that on surface I actually look super fine. I look like a complete normal person when I don't stress myself or try myself too hard. But until they do like specific testing on like some certain reactions or certain balancing testing, they realize I actually can't hold my balance at all. And then they find it like really puzzling. Like they check I don't have any hearing loss, because usually you have vertigo bad enough that you have trouble walking. You usually are already at a state that your hearing is already start losing it. You're already like bad enough to start losing hearing. But when they test my ears, I'm not losing any hearing. In fact, my hearing is actually super good. It's weird. And they went ahead and do vertigo testing on me. Like, they use a machine to capture my eyes, so when they do something on me, my eyes would show that I have some balancing issues, and my brain like do this, do that. Like, you can lie to people, you can pretend to be dizzy, you can pretend to be unbalanced, but your eyes cannot lie. The reaction speed of the eyes is way too fast to lie. And then, so they used machine to test my eyes, and they found it. Hold on a minute, this guy actually have vertigo. Like, even now, we didn't put any, like, induce anything that they can put, like, an air dryer, like something like an air dryer to blow at your ears and induce, like, blasting cold air or hot air to induce, like, vertigo into your body. Into your, like, artificially induce vertigo into your things. I didn't even have that. They have to do like a control test, so they found out I actually have it even without like doing the inducing vertigo. And then when I induce vertigo, it of course it becomes worse, but by default I have vertigo. They don't know what the heck is happening to me. Back then, they don't know I have AICA yet. They just assume I have Meniere's disease, but also same time they are very skeptical of it, because I have the telltale sign of Meniere's disease, but I have zero hearing loss, which is the weirdest thing in the world. For a lot of people who do a lot of this thing, or anyone who understands medical stuff, when you have Meniere's disease, you already have a certain level of like hearing loss. No matter how tiny it is, you're going to have a little bit of it, because Meniere's disease, you live long enough with it, it damages your hearing, because that thing is always simulating your everything inside your ears, and almost to a point it will hurt your ears sometime if it's bad enough. I have tinnitus, I have vertigo, I have eye twitch, I have eye pain. When my vertigo is bad enough, my right eye, just specifically sometimes on my right eye, it hurts. And the pain would convert into headache. The eye pain would like travel into my brain and then ping pong back and forth. It like spiral. The pain is literally like spiraling around inside my head. It's a moving pain. It's the worst kind of pain you can have in your head. Like, those kind of things can happen. Like, that is my worst case scenario. Now I learn how to manage my condition well, because I finally know like what's wrong with me. I learn how to manage my condition well, so it doesn't really happen that much unless I stress or like power through myself way too much, and then issue would happens. If I don't, generally I can do quite lots of stuff. You know, without much issues. But again, if I overwork and many complications slowly rise up again. But again, like because I somewhat have like a very good body able to handle this, I don't really show any sign of like discomfort or struggling at it until they test some specific stuff on me. And then they found out, hey, this guy is really weird. We really need to take a look in his brain. And then they, because the first hospital insists I just think too much, you know. They just insist that I think too much, or maybe I have some mental issues that like have this kind of sensations. But after the audiology, physiology doctors, they confirm I have like some issues. They wrote a recommendation letter to the first hospital that requests them to do an MRI on me. Usually when it comes to ear issues, the first thing you do is MRI. But I'm going for a public hospital, so because I got no money, or insurance, sadly. So I have to go for a public hospital, and usually they are very, very reluctant to use the MRI machine on anyone unless they are on critical state or they really need that thing. For me, my only reason to go to scan the MRI is basically I'm slowly losing my balance, my eyes seeing things weird, I'm dizzy. It's just that. Not a really good valid reason to go for MRI. I'm not dying or anything. So they really reluctant to put me in MRI. So they just use the most traditional way to check that you have issues or not is basically asking you questions and play a game of bingo. If you really have it, that like telltale sign of having this, then yes, you have Meniere's disease. Because I don't actually have Meniere's disease. I have something that's similar of Meniere's disease, but they just think I'm pretending. So they end up being like very skeptical on my conditions and never really take an MRI or anything like that. Until the second hospital requests for it, they'd be like, okay, fine, let's do MRI. And then finally I did an MRI. They still won't acknowledge my issues. To be honest, this is very funny because like again, like I'm already at a state that is like very bad mentally, physically, and everything, because around that time it's just like a very bad guessing game. I'm also stressed from it because like I know something wrong with me, but why the doctor can't see what's wrong with me? And also them insisting I have mental issue I clearly know I don't have, and knowing low-key knowing they think I'm pretending is kind of pissed me off too. But yeah, and finally I was acknowledged. No, finally the MRI scan is like I don't have Meniere's disease, but I have this. When I went to see the first hospital doctors, they basically just tell me, oh, you don't have Meniere's disease. And I say, oh, I don't have it, good, but you have this. I say, anything special? Nah, nothing special. Then do I need medications? You don't need medication anymore. So I'm good to go. They didn't even bother to explain like what AIC is to me until I go to the second hospital, hand them in the report, and the second hospital doctors literally tell me like, do you know what this thing is? No, they just say I have this thing. They didn't explain it to you. No, this is the main issue you have, you know. I've been like, what? And I say this story so many times. They actually, by repeat, like Creamy maybe like heard like 50 times already at this point. Yeah, like it's a very funny issues. It's a very funny issues. But again, like AICA is a very subjective issues. Again, there are people who get prick in the arm and then they would roll on the ground and yell mummy. But for me is like my situation is somewhat of like that, but not exactly, because I can manage it quite well because of my special body. The doctor did say like they do a lot of testing. My body is actually functioning very well. In fact, I might be like some sort of natural athlete. But the problem is like my natural athlete body is actually being trained by this multitude of like debuff on my body. You know, this basically my body is like powered through so much of my like debuff. It become a very well built body. But yeah, it generally is like that, and not too much, not too less. It's basically yeah, that's lots of things that is like happening to me. I'm still trying. But yeah, that's why I'm trying to become voice actor, because like every little things, because I have a permanent vertigo, like moving is a little bit struggle for me time to time, and focusing on seeing stuff, actually I can struggle on that too. When I like listening to stuff, I have a permanent tinnitus too. It's constantly ringing. is I don't know where this ring come from, but no matter what kind of situations, in the loudest situation or the most silent situations, I can hear this like silent ringing inside my ears. It's really annoying. It's not silent ring to be honest. It's a complete like lowest tier of tinnitus in my ears permanently. It's super annoying. And of course, like I say, like those eye pain, headache, like all those kind of things like in me. Like it made me unable to focus that well, so I cannot do my job properly. And I don't want to become a liability of anyone with a job because, like, if you do a job, you have a responsibility to take. And with my conditions, if I fumble, if I screw up, I really screw up for lots of things. It costs money, it costs the client time, it costs the effort, like lots of things. So I'm actually very reluctant to get a job. So in a way, I know it's an excuse. I'm now being like a content creator. I kind of like function fine, right? It's just me managing my condition well. I cannot do work for a very long period amount of time. It actually actively make my situation worse. Maybe I can sort of like have a normal day for like a week. Second week, I already start having a little bit of issues. I can power through. Maybe like for months, I can literally power through for a month or two. But on the third month, I would start fumbling a lot more. I would start doing much more worse stuff. I would have more worse vertigo or vertigo, depends on how you pronounce it. Like basically, I can work for 2 or 1 month, and then you see me disappear for a week, and then I can come back and work again, and then like disappear for a week, like basically something like that. And I have to like space out my work. I work on morning, rest on afternoon, and work on night. Those kind of things. Let When I say rest on afternoon, I mean literal like 5 hours of rest in the afternoon time. So for a worker, it's not really the best kind of worker. Also high parking, and yeah, the only thing, the only thing that doesn't really require any struggle is talking. This is why I've been talking so much. I've been yapping so much. Like I can't even enjoy game as much as I talking because this is the only thing I can do without a single struggle. Technically, I do sometimes. If my vertigo is bad enough, I slur my word, but generally, I can do so much things without talking is the best one for me. And then I can literally relax when I talk. That's the only thing that benefits for me when I start talking. Because no matter how dizzy you are, you can't like no matter how dizzy you are or like how much like fucked up your like balances, it won't affect you talking. It might affect your eyesight, it might affect your movement, which you will struggle a lot, but when it comes to talking, it's the easiest thing to do. So I end up just, you know, I I can't have a job due to my issues, but now I kind of like have this like light bulb light up on my head. Wait, I can talk a lot, right? So how about I'm just train myself to become voice actor? So this is why I like do a lot of like voice acting right now, and I try my best to become a voice actor. This is why I'm doing this like reading stuff. This is why I'm doing this reading. Basically is to train myself to be able to say word in a verbatim way. So it's like word to word, not like changing the word, not like do this, do that, and then train up my diaphragm to be able to speak in a long period amount of time, which is something apparently I can do already. But yeah, have to like, speak professionally, those kind of things. So I need to train well. It's still going to take some times, but train how to speak in a consistent pacing, have a little bit dramatic tone into it, have a little bit of like good diaphragm control, and read the word correctly without missing a word, without adding any word, those kind of things. I've been fumbling like a shit tons like doing this thing, and yeah, it's pretty bad when I was like fumbling way too much. At a point I literally went insane almost. This is what happened. Let me see. Is it this one? The void screaming into existence with the yeah, basically I fumble all my other like scenes so much, like this one. The void screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, wading through the eons until it mastered the mysterious watcher, marked the final time of undoing. To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose. Yeah, I fumble on this one. Like the often off only. I become often only. I remove this word. And I messed up the often off only limited sentience. Yeah, like when I realized that, I was like pause a little bit, which like screw up the entire like voiceover on this thing. And I fumbled, like this is like my 70-ish take. I already went crazy a little bit, and you guys can have a laugh on this one. Don't worry, you have my blessing to laugh at this thing. The void screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, waiting through the eon until its master, the mysterious watcher, marked the final time of undoing. Haha! To be a mortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind, like me. Denizen of the void, this realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, like my brain, but tasked with a singular purpose to usher in the total oblivion of the cross Runeterra. The yeah, I went a little bit crazy because like this is my 70 fumble, and then I'll be like, you know what? I just go full Uncle Roger at this point. And I just like go full on comedic, and this is the unfumble one. I still lack a lot of stuff. Like I need to pronounce a word a little bit proper, and the pacing still need to improve a little bit. This is the unfumble one. The void screaming into existence with the birth of the universe. The void is a manifestation of the unknowable nothingness that lies beyond. It is a force of insatiable hunger, wading through the eons until its master, the mysterious watcher, mark the final time of undoing. To be immortal touched by this power is to suffer an agonizing glimpse of eternal unreality, enough to shatter even the strongest mind. Denizens of the void realm itself are construct creatures, often of only limited sentience, but tasked with a singular purpose: to usher in total oblivion cross rude terror. Yeah, this one is like good. I didn't like speak, and I basically like when I say good, it's only good on I managed to read everything without changing a single word. I keep adding like waiting, I keep saying awaiting, like often, off only, I just say often only, or like keep adding like words, or remove like the final time or mark final time, something like that. I keep doing this kind of thing. I keep fumbling on every single sentence, like maybe like 70-ish take already. And then this is why like I went on crazy old and start speaking like this. Screaming. Well, when you try to train yourself from like speaking, like this best way to if you want to train yourself to become a voiceover actor, you have to learn how to read things word by word instead of adding or removing stuff, because people are paying you to like read the stuff they wrote. It's not like paying you to correct the word they wrote. So you have to, unless they give you a green light, of course, but generally they pay you to read the word. So you have to read the word, you know? And the word is word. So it's best to practice yourself to be able to be very on the verbatim and stuff. And then you have to adjust the tone, have a little bit pause, even though you have to like follow the rules like one to one. Like you see apostrophe, you have to like pause. You see a comma, you have to pause. You see exclamation mark, you need to yell. Those kind of things, like it's a very like specific thing. If you wrote it in the wrong way, the voice actor themselves will also say it the wrong way. So people who write that dialogue, they also have to be very specific, because they know if they're writing for a voice actor, they are very sensitive to those kind of things too. So you have to like write it in a way that they will pronounce it and raise up their tone, change their tone according to what kind of when you are going to put a comma, when are you going to put the apostrophe, like those kind of things. So when I fumbled too much, I went crazy. That's the thing. And this happens. Ah, but the only one that I kind of like make properly, that is like not, at least I managed to read everything without changing a word, but I still didn't do too great of a job of like have the consistent tone, consistent pacing, those kind of things. I still don't really have it. I still lacking a lot. I need to practice more to actually to be able to do better. And I'm very hungry, to be honest. My mom's want me to take me out to buy stuff and to eat like brunch together. So I'm not sure I'm going to like continue streaming. Maybe I'll like go off, and then when I came back, I will start like a part 2 stream that I would actually do the drawing, because here's the thing, like I messed up like on a little bit part. Hold on, Artista Cafe we go. The mic didn't listen. All right. So as you can see, I already got this like flat color dance, but I want to try out the background, so I did all this. And let's have all this on. Like I overdid. I basically overdid everything. Even I removed this. No, not removing this. If I remove like some of the overly colored stuff, it's still like a very like overdid lighting. And I went to consult like some of my artist friends, and they gave me quite a good like explanation of how to do this kind of like stained glass background lighting like properly. I got the gist of the ideas, and I know how to correct this thing. This thing is not actually the thing. Like I learned a proper way to fix it. Okay, it's not this. I found a better way to do it, but so at the end, like yeah, like lots of things I have to like still trying it out. I haven't really tried out yet. But now I'm very hungry. I spent quite a long sessions of fumbling, like voice acting. I went crazy a little bit. I'm going to eat and go out eat and then have some relaxing time with my mom and come back later. So I'm just going to turn off the stream, and by the time I would be like come back, I will come back to do the stream later on. Uh, I will write the same name, same thumbnail, but I will write part 2 into it, so you guys know the time. I'm gonna take my break. Um, Anyone, if you are like tired, go to sleep. If you guys are like around my time, like have fun, I guess. Um, Thank you very much for watching and stay healthy, stay safe, and as always, also stay tuned on the next stream. Until next time, bye. I fumbled my ending too. Gosh dang it.